The one thing that's fun about having your own studio and with the complexity of the projects that we make, that we get to, not only when we're done, sculpting the piece, we're literally able to put our own molds on it. And which, mold making is really expensive, as is the material. And so we're able to cut a bunch of costs that way. But so basically this is the prop for the back of the Dodo, and it's receiving its first coat of rubber. The Dodo bird's a long-time dream come true. I've always wanted to collaborate with Robert Williams. I actually want to own a piece of Robert Williams' work. We'd been friends for a long time. When I say friends, it means I was a stalker or admirer, and he knew who I was. But he just kind of said, yeah, let's go to dinner. If he likes you, he invites you to a Mexican restaurant, which is real by the house. If he really likes you, you go to the Tiki Lounge where they serve a lousy steak, which he claims is a good steak, but it's not. And so we go to the Tiki Lounge. And so I was pretty excited about the Tiki Lounge. And basically the Tiki Lounge is a restaurant that just hasn't been remodeled since the 60s. And neither have the waitresses, and they could use some remodeling. And then basically at the end of the dinner, he was kind of like, well, and then like, when are you going to have this thing done? When are you going to show it to me? And it was like, oh, I got the approval, I'm doing it.
Are you making this for the custom car show?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got a call from Paul Frank the other day. Paul Frank, the one that does the monkeys,
Yeah.
And so in July at the Laguna Beach Art Center, Vans gave 20 grand, and I guess that, none of it goes to me, it goes to the art center itself, which is a tiny little art center. So basically they have all the funding they'll need for advertisement, for building display cases and stuff like that. And Greg Escalante, co-founder of Juxtapose magazine, along with Robert Williams, is revisiting a show that they did in, I don't know, 94. They did a show that was on Von Dutch, had Roth and Robert Williams, and I knew him, cantankerous cuss, knew him, great self-promoter, and currently great friends with him. And what's neat about this whole custom culture thing is these cliched terms like pop surrealism or lowbrow art or whatever, basically the staple of what is Juxtapose magazine. And Juxtapose magazine is basically just Thrasher for the art world. Greg Escalante, Greg Escalante right there, is putting on this second collection. We're going to put some of the stuff that I've collected up together with some of Robert's stuff. We're going to put some of Ed Roth stuff up. We're going to put some of Von Dutch stuff up. And then we're going to debut the Dodo. And it kind of mixed me into that world, because you got to remember, I'm pretty illustrative, you know what I mean? There's nothing terribly crazy about my artwork. It really looks like a motorcycle racing. There's nothing monster about it or silly or political or anything else. But it doesn't mean that I don't love that community. But the Dodo is absolutely out there. It's ludicrous, it's silly, it's all those things. The one thing about the Juxtaposed crowd that I couldn't agree with Robert Williams more is the fact that they're all in love with the sad-eyed Christina Ricci knockoff, and it's all got to be doom and gloom, and now you get these like gamer nerds that are into scary art. And it never was that. That lowbrow art was Los Angeles based, and Los Angeles is California. Or San Francisco is not California. That's an East Coast city on the West Coast. But Los Angeles, the Cholo, the Vato, everything about Los Angeles, that's California. And California has big freeways, and California likes cars. And lowbrow art and custom culture was about the love of the automobile. And today, if you look in Juxtapose magazine, the automobile is no longer a relevant subject. And so they've drifted away. And so this show is going to kind of hopefully bring home where it all came from.